I'm Chris Erdmann, and this is Made of More, the show where we go beyond business to uncover real stories that shape entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, we explore the pivotal moments, the adversity faced, the risks taken, and the resilience found along the way. This isn't just about what people have built, it's about who they've become. If you're ready for inspiration, practical insights, and stories that remind you that you too are made of more, you're in the right place.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm Chris Erdmann here, and I'm your host of the show, Made of More. Today we got a special guest, and somebody that I've been a client to. He's done some great video production. It's Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios, who's been in business since 2017.
Correct.
And awesome. He loves helping businesses, nonprofits, families all tell stories about purpose, legacy, and meaning. Hey, Jackson, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it too. We got a little bit of time together, and we've done a pretty cool, film shooting in another city nearby.
Mm-hmm. Bellingham.
Yeah, it turned out really well.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think you helped me finish all the drinks and food and party that night a little bit. Yeah, you did. You had a good presence there. So I brought Jackson in because I think he's a phenomenal storyteller, and he's really into his craft. So, Jackson, I want to start from the earlier days of who you are. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So it sounds like back in the day you were quite the athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sports did you play?
So growing up, both my parents were actually in ski patrol. So grew up on the mountain over in Snoqualmie, very local to us. Went up there Friday nights, started skiing, Friday evenings into Saturday into Sunday, and then coming back home. That was kind of my life all the way up until about 12 years old. And then at 12 years old, I really dedicated myself to basketball.
Okay.
So I loved basketball to the death, and pursued that. And anyone that knows that kind of, when you pick one sport, that one sport is kind of your entire life.
Yeah.
You go through spring season, you go through summer season, you got AAU, and then you got obviously high school in the fall, in the wintertime. But yeah, so I dedicated myself to basketball for a very long time, and then obviously the dreams of being a professional basketball player kind of fell through.
Yeah.
Because, it's very, very competitive out there. So after basketball, I went to Western Washington University for a little bit, and then that's when I got reintroduced to skiing. And so went back to skiing, and I've been a skier for a very long time now.
What mountain were you skiing on?
Currently, I ski at Crystal Mountain.
Okay. And
Shout out Crystal.
Oh, yeah. And then back before that, back in your college days?
College days was at Mount Baker, just because I was up at Western Washington University,
I was just
Bellingham.
at Baker yesterday.
Yeah, so Baker, and then, grew up at Snoqualmie, went to Baker during my college years, and then when I moved back home towards kind of the east side area and everything, went to Crystal. So
right on. Yeah, I've not been at Crystal yet, but hopefully this year I'll check it out. First you were avid skier back when you were young, and your parents sound like your parents were in it as well, or?
Yes, parents were very, very athletic.
Did they have a big impact on the beginning of your athletic career or your athletic start through school?
Yeah, I think like any other parent, you want to expose your kids to as much sports as possible and kind of let them choose their pathway going forward. And so for me growing up, we did skiing, basketball, essentially every sport other than football.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, I don't want you to get hit. So
smart. Yeah. Yeah. You got all your brain cells. I can tell that right now. What did you learn about yourself early on in sports and challenges?
Discipline, number one, being able to be disciplined by coaches, have your own self-discipline, and, focus on what you want to do in life going forward. And then number one was action. So with all the discipline that you learn, you have to put that to use. And so one of that uses was, okay, you're going to commit to something, and then you're going to go do it. And so it was more of, I wouldn't say discipline, but plan and execution. The execution part was the most impactful for me, was being like, okay, you want to go do something, go do it.
Okay. And you have to do it. Most of everything you were involved in was, besides skiing, was a team sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What kind of lessons did you learn with execution and being on a team?
Being on a team was incredible because you have to rely on other people than yourselves. And then, I was captain of our varsity team for multiple years, and just learning that, being like you have to bring other people up around you, and you need to rise them to the level that you're at and what you want them to be with. So
you're a leader and a hype man at the same time.
Kind of, pretty much, yeah.
So good. Watching you out in the field, it was impeccable because like you allowed other people around you to be in the zone that they were going to be. So it's like you're confident who you scouted and who you bring to the table. And at the same time, you give them enough direction, and then you're out doing your own thing. So it's like it was just phenomenal to watch like the engagement of the whole process of film with you, because we were in many different spots.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and one of the things about being, especially going back to the film and the film shoot that we did was, you have to trust your team in order to go out and execute what you want to execute at the end of the day. And so leading them but not micromanaging them is completely different.
Yeah.
So you don't want to micromanage them and look over their shoulder at every single moment, but you want to trust them so they can go out and do what they do best. Yeah. And that's what I've built my team around, especially with 1117 Studios, is I want trustworthy people that can go out and execute exactly what we need to do for that client and for that purpose, and most importantly for that target audience.
Yeah, so you got a wide range of people that I call them bench warmers. Like they're you've scouted them out, they're sitting on the bench ready for you to put them into a play.
Yep, exactly.
Well, let's move on a little bit from the sports and whatnot. So I just want to know early stages of Jackson. What were some of the earlier jobs or careers that you had before this?
So I worked in so many different jobs, man.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
CRM.
So worked in a ski shop for a long time. I loved that through high school. And then I went to Western Washington University for a very short period of time. I realized college wasn't for me.
Sure.
So I actually ended up dropping out of college. And like any dropout in college, you got to go work. So I worked for detail shops. I worked for car salesmen. I was a life insurance person for a little bit. Almost every single blue collar. Like if any of the blue collar guys are listening right now, I was a green pea.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like a lot of us learn that, hey, college is or it isn't for us. And what did you find yourself did you have a direction that you were kind of going towards then, or you're just like, hey, this is just not my zone and I'm meant for something else?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was, I went to college and I started learning from all of these incredible professors, and none of them really resonated with me, but business owners resonated with me.
Okay.
So when I was at the detail shop working when I dropped out of college, I met a lot of different business owners, and we would have in-depth conversations. And for me personally, I learned more about business from talking to them rather than actually going to school for it.
Sure.
And then being on the back end of it, working at the detail shop, working all my way up to, essentially almost a co-owner at that shop, I worked with everybody.
Yeah.
Every single walks of life, from taxi drivers to multi-billionaires to, I can't say his name because I don't want to put him on blast, but a very bunch of very, very high-level celebrities.
Sure.
And just interacting with them on a daily basis gave me the confidence and the tools to actually go out and start creating something for my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, when you leave college, sometimes we always say you're dropping out, but to me, it feels like you were probably like leveling up to what your calling was. Like you knew your method of learning was talking to people on the job, in the job, and that's how you were learning. And then it sounds like, I'm sure you were doing well at school, but it sounded like it was resonating with you less, like you knew that you were not on the right path.
No, it was a good decision because at the same time, going in a little personal stuff, but my parents have saved up this college fund, and after the first year of college, I was like, hey, how much do I have left? And they said X amount, and I was like, I don't want to waste that on useless learning per se.
Yeah.
Not to dog Western Washington University and anything
education
like that,
is very important.
It just wasn't for me. So I was like, okay, well, I want to use that towards something different in the future. I don't know what that difference is, but I'm going to save that X amount rather than spend it on college.
Right.
I made that business decision when I was, 18 and a half years old.
Yeah, there you go. So it sounds like you've had like quite a variety of jobs before 1117. What was that point that one job was like, got you to the next level to 1117?
Ooh, great question. So I was working at a car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to name any names, of course, but I was working at a car dealership, and they had a film crew come in. And they were like, okay, we're going to film this 30-second ad that's going to be aired on our local TV stations during the Seahawks games.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought in a bunch of high-level names from around the area to do this commercial. And that day, I did not work at all. I did not sell a single car.
Okay.
Because I was just focused on the film crew. And I was like, why are like these 8 guys here with microphones and lighting equipment and cameras and everything like that? And
something's happening here.
yeah, something's happening. So I was like, I was more focused on them than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I waited a couple of months, still worked, still sold cars, obviously, but waited a couple of months, and then the ad came out. And it was like, it was one of those ads where it's like, hey, come buy a car and get a free dozen donuts. It was so transactional.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to my general manager and I was like, dude, can you please tell me how much you spent on this ad?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, we spent X amount on the ad, and then we spent X amount on the TV spot in order to advertise it on local channels.
How much was it?
Or I'll say it was $25,000 for the ad, for the 30-second ad, and then it was $50,000 for the TV spot.
Mm-hmm. And then, because then he told you, right?
Yep.
So what was going through your mind at that point?
I could do it better. I can do it cheaper.
Okay. So you could provide more value for less money.
Way more value, because it was so transactional.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized early on in my business that businesses that were transactional were not going to make it. The businesses that were actually humanizing their business, putting a voice to the name, were actually going to succeed and make it farther in life than those that were just like, hey, come buy a car and get a free dozen donuts.
Yeah.
And
you had a vision in that moment. I could tell, because you're like, your body language when we talk about that moment, it's like you become like this different, a little bit different person. If maybe you can see if you're on YouTube watching this. But what was it? Because you had some clarity. I could do this better. I could make it less transactional. Did you have some ideas at this time, a little bit more than that?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to humanizing the business itself, where it's like you put a face to the name, and people trust a face more than they trust a brand.
Okay.
And nowadays, if that was back in 2016 that was. And if you fast forward all the way to today, all of the most successful brands and the most successful businesses, they relate to that person.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look for a sale, but they relate to that. They're actually willing to spend more money on someone that they can trust rather than someone that's going to give them the best deal.
Right. Yeah.
And so I understood that from a very young stage, and that's where 1117 kind of grew from, where it was like, okay, let's humanize businesses. Let's make them non-transactional. Let's make them the most trustworthy people in the world, and then people will buy from them.
I think you're exactly right. Like, people want to do business with other people that they know, like, trust, and maybe even love, I feel better going to somebody's business that I feel like I know who they are a bit more, whether they're a friend, family, or somebody that I've been following. There's this chef up in Canada. I think his name is Bikram, and it's been a while, but I used to go to his restaurant, VJ, I think is his name, and I used to go up there because I saw him on TV, and I felt like, oh, I know this guy. Then you go to his restaurant, then you see him there too, and he treats you like he's known you, and it makes me just want to keep going back to that restaurant.
Yeah, he's humanized his business rather than being transactional.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you the best food for the cheapest prices, but we're going to create an experience for you that is unmatched on any restaurant that you go to. And that's why you go back.
Yeah, for that experience. And that's another word, that experience. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the magic. I think that's what you were capturing in your way as I'm watching you do the film through Bellingham. You were very intentional about having people start a relationship with what the town is. Because we tend to think like, hey, we have to get to know this person and have a relationship with it. But you can also turn and how does that person have a relationship with a product maybe? Mm-hmm. Like how does the car answer the
needs and the wants of the person that wants to buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you want to share with me how you can do that?
Oh yeah, of course. So the whole thing is about target audience. So every business has a different target audience. That target audience dictates how they tell their stories. So, for example, when we were on your shoot, the target audience was, young families in Bellingham, all the way up to elderly retirement kind of people. When it comes down to the marine life of there, I mean, you're right next to the, oh my God, what's the passage that goes, Inside Passage, I think it is,
Right.
that goes up through Canada into Alaska.
I forgot the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. We'll go look it up.
We'll look it up. We'll look it up. But, people like that where they want to experience that marine life and have the freedom of experiencing that marine life. And then it goes all the way back down to parents of college kids and people that love the ski community and the mountain biking community, because Mount Baker is so renowned for that. And so it's understanding the target audience and then directing that story towards the target audience.
To their needs and interests.
Exactly. So, for your shoot, you're not going to go to college kids. College kids don't have any money.
Not yet. Yeah, the parents might.
The parents will, but the college kids don't. So everything that we do at 1117 Studios is surrounded around the client's target audience. And when we create videos for that target audience, that audience is loving it because they get to know the information that they want to know without the BS included with it.
Sure. Yeah, and they could perceive that film or whatever that product is that you put out there the way that they want to, and if they want to come back, they can make that phone call, email, or text.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, when we did a little bit of work, it was okay. Let's target some of our ads towards the mass population just to figure out kind of who's watching, who's not watching, who's clicking, and then slowly it goes down to that minute target audience that actually is going to be, conversion audience, which is what I call it. People that are actually going to pick up the phone, call you, buy from you, buy the properties, buy that kind of stuff. And that's our end game goal, which is we want the people that are actually going to be spending the money to be looking at the clients and being like, this is a guy I want to go work with.
I love that, and I think I've heard you speak of that before, but there's the target audience, but then within that is the conversion audience. And I think that's brilliant. How do you have a way that you dive in with your clients? I imagine that you've asked me a lot of questions. You probably did it without me knowing, but you probably have a method for trying to figure out the conversion audience.
Yeah, the conversion audience comes down to multiple different factors. One of them being, it kind of goes back to different trends per se. So what I call is that you have internet trends and then you have industry trends. So the internet trends are like the most popular kind of songs that are being used for, Instagram, like when you doom scroll through Instagram or TikTok or any of those, that's kind of like the internet audience. And then you have the industry audience where it's like, okay, well, I'm focused on the real estate stuff. So what are other people doing that are real estate that are more successful than me?
Sure.
And when you look at them, they might create videos that get tons and tons of likes, but their conversion audience actually is very minimal because they're just doing stuff for the internet. They're not doing stuff for their target audience. So you have industry trends, you have internet trends, and then you have target audience trends. And once you focus on the target audience trends and what they're actually going to be looking at, what they're not going to be looking at, that's when you can start creating incredible content for your specific target audience. And you create a following.
Love that. With that said, that's gold right there. With that said, you're listening to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and tune back in because we're getting more gold nuggets from Jackson Rezab from 1117 Studios.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to discover remarkable stories of resilience and cultural connection? This is Diaspora, a show sharing the journeys of first-generation immigrants from the Indian subcontinent now building their lives in North America. Inspiring, insightful, and always engaging, Diaspora offers a unique perspective on the immigrant experience. Join me, Aditya Mehta, my guests, on the Diaspora Show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on KKNW.
Alternative Talk, 1150 on AM, 98.9 HD3 on HD, 1150kknw.com on the web.
Welcome back to the show, Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we're here sitting with Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios. And he was just giving us a lot of gold nuggets, especially for the ones that, like me, that want to learn how to market and target audience. Is there any more info that you want to tell us about regarding target audience or conversion audience?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with target audience is when businesses focus on their specific target audience, the ones that are converting into actual clients or customers, and they ignore the other noise, they can really focus and harness their marketing capability to that target audience. Because it's amazing to get 1 million likes, but it's better to get 1 million phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
So focus on your target audience, focus on who you want to market to, and just ignore the noise.
Ignore the noise. I love that. You know, another question makes me think, I see these advertisements out now for other marketing companies that want to gain the attention of people like me that have their own business, right? And they say, don't worry about the likes. It's not about the likes, but there's a lot of people out there that are not getting thumbs up, but are converting business. Is that real?
Absolutely, yeah. We have a client in not Southern Florida, mid-area Florida, Lakeland, Florida. And we started creating YouTube videos for them a couple years ago. They're an off-road manufacturer company, and they create just off-road parts for random vehicles and everything. But our entire YouTube strategy was focused on who is actually going to be watching these videos. So our titles were purposed around SEO because Google owns YouTube, obviously. So the more you post on YouTube, the better that Google is going to see you. And then in the videos, we didn't try to make them 10 minutes long for the advertisement people for a monetary value. Like, we're not trying to grow 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. Sure. We're trying to create an informational YouTube channel about off-road parts that work with this specific client and that specific industry. He's now one of the leading off-road manufacturers in America using American-made steel. He's full USA, the whole nine. And when I first met him, he had a backyard shop with a tent, like a blue tarp over the tent, and he was grinding his own parts and everything.
Yeah.
He now has a 10,000 square foot warehouse with multiple employees, and he's, cashing at least $1 million a year.
He's doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's just because of our target audience. And it's like, who actually wants to watch these videos?
Yeah.
The people that will actually want to buy your products. So let's make videos for that people. Let's not make videos for the mass population.
Yeah. So it's so niche, even if, you're probably not getting 1 million likes, but you're probably getting a few. But what's more important, you're getting the views from that target audience.
Yeah. And he's made so many different manufacturing parts that, he made his own press brake from scratch, and he put the plans online for sale. So it's like, if you have a CNC machine and if you have, 1/4-inch steel that it can cut through and everything like that, then you can build this yourself. And he's been reached out to by multiple different school districts across the country and being like, hey, can we fly you out and have you help us build this?
Right on. And
so he would go out and he would build these press brakes in the schools for the kids so the kids can learn how to do blue-collar trades. And that was his target audience. That's what he wanted to do. So we just marketed that exactly to what he wanted to do.
Right on. That sounds like it's been successful for both parties here.
Yep.
What about, you started 1117 Studios in 2017. Any relation there? First of all, what does 1117 mean?
Okay, so I got to be honest. 1117 was not the first name of the company.
Okay. You want to share the first name?
Yeah. Originally, it was called Jackson Rezab Media Productions, but JRMS got way too confusing for some people.
Okay.
So then during COVID, because every business was kind of going into a different direction, we actually rebranded into New Direction Video Productions. So helping businesses go in their new direction.
Sure.
And then the funny thing about that is that everyone got the email wrong.
Okay.
Because they were like, hey, where did we put the S? And I was like, at the very, very end. That's it.
Yeah.
So that got really, really confusing. And then I have a chocolate lab. He's now 5 years old. His name is Remy.
Okay.
He was born on November 17th.
Like Remy Martin?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Remy Martin, yeah. So he was born on November 17th, and I was actually doing work for a couple different big time apartment buildings that had 183, 117 or whatever. They always name their buildings after the street.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what's a super, super simple number that I can relate to that is going to resonate with my clients and my future potential clients?
Remy's birthday.
11/17.
Yeah.
So that's where 11/17 was born from.
Oh,
my
right.
dog's birthday.
That's pretty cool. I like that, especially for all those animal and dog lovers out there. I'm sure they could appreciate that.
Yeah. No, when everyone asked me, it's like, hey, where did 11/17 come from? I was like, my dog's birthday. They're just like, oh, that's so cute. It's like,
That's
thanks.
pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you got a few contracts just because of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it shows that you're not just thinking about the money. It shows that you're thinking about things that you love, and so it actually equates to a much deeper meaning to me in the business. It just means you're somebody that cares about their community and family. So
yeah. No, we care about our clients most importantly. I mean, if a client comes to us and they say, hey, we want to get 1 million views on YouTube, I'm like, hey, I'm not your guy. But if you want to tell your story to your potential audience the right way and you want to get that out there appropriately, then yes, I am absolutely your guy.
all right.
So we have lines that have been drawn.
I'm getting moved right now. I'm like feeling like, man, I'm ready to sign another contract and tell my story now.
Give me the money.
Yeah. Hey, you said you're all about family and community.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know about some of your early on problems in your business. Like, what were some of the hurdles that stand out for you today when you're looking back on your early career of 11/17 or film in general?
So we actually started off with real estate agents,
Okay.
like yourself. I was looking on, different Zillow listings and everything, and maybe 1 out of 10 of them had a video that was attached to the Zillow listing, and then they would do the walk-through videos and everything like that. So we started off in the real estate field, and then from real estate, we actually went into the construction field. And then from the construction field, I pitched the idea to one of my clients. It's like, hey, let me interview you. And so once that first interview was finished, I was like, I want to interview more people because that's my bread and butter. When I go and sit down with somebody, there's no notes, there's no pre-taken. It's very similar to this,
Right.
where we're just having conversation back and forth. And then I can edit out all of the ums, the uhs, the buts, all that kind of stuff, and make it into such a clear message for their target audience. And that's where I fell in love with videography, was interviewing.
Okay.
And interviewing business owners, understanding what makes them tick, what makes them not tick, what their client experience is. And a lot of the times, business owners are like, I've never had an interview like that, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a certain person to have an effective interview. You're one of the few, and I know there's many, but you're one of the few video guys that I've experienced in my own experience of life, that you actually have a really calming energy, and it makes me feel like, oh, he knows what he's doing, which I know you do because it's in your end product. But it's like it could feel hectic because for a lot of us, might be putting yourself out there for the first time, or you're just getting to know the message. You just signed up for something that you're just wanting to put out there, and so there's a lot of pressure for the person that wants to pay for the services and then put it out there, and then to have somebody that's really excitable on the other end could be like, oh, it could feel great for a while, but it also can feel like adds to the anxiety, opposed to when having you in there. I'm like, wow, this guy's feels like he's the captain driving the ship. And if it feels kind of stormy out, he's still confident and he's pointing it in the direction that we're supposed to be going. And if there was something going on wrong, I would never know it, which, when I'm getting filmed, I don't want to know if there's something going on wrong. I just want somebody to solve it if there is. And I feel like you bring that calming energy, and I think it's more than calming. It feels really calculated. Like, obviously you're a pro, you've been doing this, and it's deep and insightful. So that's been one of my experiences, because I've shot film other times, and the director is like really excitable, and they're kind of yelling at their staff and to get things, and they're missing things. And it's like, oh my God, is this going to go well? I don't want to know if you're missing a lens, I just want to know if you are missing a lens that you've solved it.
Well, that comes down to what we talked about earlier, which, what I learned from, sports and everything. It's the discipline. It's the execution. If you plan correctly for a video shoot, there should be no problems. If there is a problem, then absolutely we can deal with that. But the team that I trust is a team that you show up, you get the effing job done.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like if you crash your drone in the lake, guess what? You crashed your drone.
Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Where's the other one?
Yeah. Like be prepared.
Go to Best Buy right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that type of discipline with me and my team is all surrounded around get the job done. I mean, I've had guys that have worked, 16-hour days. And it's just like, hey, you're going to get paid for it, but we have to get the job done. And then we'll turn around after a 16-hour day and then work a 12-hour day.
Right.
So
back to back.
Sometimes it is what it is, but you have to get the job done. Period.
Has there been a time where you were questioning, are we gonna get that job done?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to share you don't have to share exactly the client, but do you want to share a little bit and how you overcame it?
We worked with a private equity company in 2024 for about 6 months, and that private equity company had us flying out to every single corner of the United States, and it was specifically for supply chain. And they were hosting this giant conference at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas. They had rented the entire convention center, and they did this huge shoot, and we had 6 weeks to produce 10 very, very high-level videos. And
sounds like a lot.
I got a call every single day from that marketing person within the company, and they were like, is this going to get done? There's no way this is going to get done. And me and my editors sat in our editing bays for, 14 hours a day. You would wake up, you'd edit, you'd go to bed, you'd wake up, you edit again.
How many Red Bulls were consumed during this?
100.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
But it was just like the job has to get done, and we're going to get paid very, very well for this because I bid it out correctly, and obviously. But yeah, one of the issues that we had was, one of my editors started to get really, really antsy, and so I had to reset the expectations. And when you reset the expectations and you plan correctly, then everything goes according to plan. If you don't set those expectations correctly, then stuff can go haywire. Everything from emotions to fatigue to everything like that. But if you set the expectations correctly and being like, hey, you're going to work really, really long for 2 months, but you're going to get paid a full year's salary within 2 months, they're like, okay, I'll do that for you. And it's like, dude, you're going to be tired. Like, you're going to be exhausted, but you're going to get paid well. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And so setting those expectations up front and making sure your entire team is on the exact same page as you are, it makes it go a whole lot smoother.
I really like that, setting expectations. Sometimes it's hard to understand the expectations going into anything, but, what do you have to say about what's a good way for other business owners or young entrepreneurs that are thinking about, going out there and they're actually setting expectations? They might not be the correct ones, but how do you have a way of thinking about setting the correct expectations, especially being earlier to an industry?
That's a tough one. I would say number one, knowing your limits.
Knowing your personal limits and your team's limits, right?
Yep. Know your personal limits and your team's limits. Understanding the culture in which the team that you have built, and then working with that culture in a way that works with them, but also works for you. And that might mean that, let's say you got to do 10 high-level videos within 6 weeks, and that's pretty hard to do if they're very high level like the ones that we were doing.
Yeah.
Let's say that there was another situation like that where the business owner was like, yeah, we can do this in 10 weeks, but your team is starting to get burnt out. And then it takes 12 weeks. So then you just have to understand. You have to pay attention. You have to, open up your mind and being like, okay, this person can do this. This person can do this. This is their limits. This is their limits. Now, as a leader, you understand those limits. And then, honestly, as a leader, you just pick up the damn slack.
Pick up the slack. Maybe even I'm thinking maybe even just talk to your team before you commit to everything. Say, this is what they want us to do, and just want to check in.
Yeah, like Dill, the guy that we brought on to do the drone work, he's actually working to get his pilot's license, and he's going to fly commercial pilot. So he was like perfect drone operator. I thought I was a good drone operator, but that guy's actually really damn good.
He's good. Yeah, he is really great.
He's really, really good.
He's also a stoic man as well, just like you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I meet with all these creatives, they always ask me the kind of same question. It's like, know your limits, set your expectations, and then you have to execute. You have to meet your expectations. And if you don't meet your expectations, then you're not going to sleep well at night. So
That's good. Yeah. Set your expectations and execute.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to leave it there for now. We're going to go into break, but I'm Chris Erdmann, your host of the show Made of More. We've been listening to Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios. So stay tuned in because he's got a lot more to offer.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Chris Erdmann. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, I sit down with inspiring entrepreneurs, creative minds, and game changers to uncover the real stories behind their business. On my show, Made of More, we explore the challenges that they've overcome, the breakthroughs that they've celebrated, and the mindset that drives them forward. If you're ready to unlock your full entrepreneurial potential, Made of More is the show for you, because here we know you are made of more. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW.
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
Welcome back to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we've been sitting here with Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios. And wow, just so many gold nuggets through this whole thing. And we ended it with executing your commitments, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Commit, execute.
Yeah. Commit and execute.
There's one thing that I've heard you say a few times, and I just feel like it's got weight to you and who you are. And it's like you say, I keep hearing you say, often the world's greatest stories go untold.
Yes.
What does this mean to Jackson?
Wow, that's a very deep personal question. But let me backtrack a little bit. So my cousin died when he was 32 years old. He died of an accidental overdose. It wasn't on purpose or anything, but he just, unfortunately passed that day. And he was the first gay family member in our entire family.
Yeah.
So he was super, super flamboyant, like the energy of the whole damn party. He wore glitter high heels everywhere he went.
Wow.
And he had so many stories to tell about his upbringing and about the lessons that he has learned. And then he passed away. They all went untold. And then
he's told them, but they were not captured.
They weren't captured. I mean, the way that we talk about, my cousin Chris is like, we can share stories, like the way that I just said, he was the life of the party.
Yeah.
But people don't get to see that. They don't get to hear that.
No.
They just get to hear it from me. And then it's like, okay, well, it's a secondary message.
Right.
Fast forward another year, and then my father died. And when I have kids, hopefully I have kids, fingers crossed. But when I have kids, they're going to be like, hey, what was Grandpa like?
Yeah.
What am I going to say? I get to say, oh, yeah, he was an amazing person. He, provided for his family, But how cool would it be if someone could sit down and watch a 30-minute video that was told in his words from his sisters, from his friends, from his different family members about how much Ray impacted their life, which is my father's name, Ray. His stories went untold. And so people don't understand the stories they have and the stories that they've built up through their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And so going forward with 1117, actually, especially in 2026, we're focused on documentary-type storytelling, where we sit down with a loved one who's been loved by their entire family. It might be a grandpa, it might be an aunt, it might be an uncle, it might be parents. Doesn't matter. But what have you learned through your life that you could share with other people?
Mm-hmm.
And those stories always, always, always go untold. And when you look back at the forms of media that has been presented, back in, before we started writing books, it was told by storytellers in the town square. They would share the news. And then we got these beautiful books like the Bible and the Quran and all those different types of literature that we can learn from. But now we're in a technological age.
Yeah.
You know, we're literally in the tech age.
We are.
We're living in it right now. This is the technological age.
We're here, and we could get AI enhanced later. I don't know, but we're there.
But with all this technology, we should be preserving those stories rather than telling other people secondhand. So the whole idea about the stories untold is you have a story whether you like it or not. You've lived through life. You understand the pains, you understand the hardships, but we don't want to focus on the negative. We want to focus on the positive. How did you grow from this? What did you learn? How did you influence the people around you to think differently? And those stories from individuals, a lot of people don't understand how important their story is until they're actually gone.
Right. They go unrealized.
They go untold.
Untold. Wow. Well, first of all, I know it's been a while, but my condolences to both of those losses. That was like 2 missiles that came through your door. Just sounds like 365 days apart or somewhere within.
Yeah, somewhere
around there. Your cousin sounds like a wonderful human being, and he's influenced you quite a bit. And talking about him and your father, I can just imagine like sitting with you and going through a thoughtful interview, and maybe one day they'll play it at my funeral, my memorial, and who knows, maybe my grandkid will want to listen to it. I might have an impact.
Yeah.
You know,
one of my favorite videos I've ever produced was Frank Zavala's 100th birthday. He was a World War II vet that turned 100. We went out and we filmed him over at Glendale Country Club. Shout out Glendale. And we filmed that video, and then 3 months after we filmed that video, he actually passed away. And so when we delivered that video to the family, that video gets replayed every single year because it's his words. And we compiled all of these different photographs, and we told his story through his words, through his daughter's words, through his grandson's words. We told that in one 10-minute video. And that 10-minute video, their entire family can go back and watch. And it means the world to them. I still get text messages this day. It's like, hey, I just watched Frank's video again. Thank you so much for capturing his entire life. And that was only 10 minutes. Imagine what we can do in 30.
That's fantastic. Wow. I can't imagine what it feels like that to put together and deliver such an asset to about a gentleman and to all the people that they love. Like you forever are connected to that family because you've delivered such a gift to them.
When he passed away, they actually asked me to be one of the pallbearers.
Wow. Yeah,
so
it doesn't surprise me after
I carried Frank down to his grave after I filmed his entire legacy and everything. And that's one of that. It's not one of that. It is the most gratifying experiences of my entire life.
Well, there you go.
To document his life, and then
Jackson Rezab from video to the grave.
Yeah, well, that's back tagline.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with something else. Well, you know what? The audience could just get a taste of what a deep thinker that you are.
Yeah,
a philosopher, I might say, of life, and just like it's more than the money, and it's more than the video.
Yeah,
it's like you're shooting well past that. It's pretty easy to see.
We're capturing stories that will last a lifetime,
yeah.
And we're capturing lessons that would be lost if they weren't untold. Or if they were.
And as long as we have servers, people can watch it.
Hey, we got the cloud these days, so.
We got the cloud.
Speaking of clouds.
Oh, yeah, it's getting dark. It's getting dark. It's getting in low.
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes for a good snowboard day tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I got another question for you. The show is called Made of More. And the reason why I brought you on this show is because I believe that Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios is made of more than just this film producer. And not just because you're great at it, but it's really clear that you are in being vulnerable, sharing some of these stories. And but what does the phrase "made of more" mean to you in your personal life?
Well, we talked about it a little bit offline, but I can't repeat that. But
that's for another show.
It's for a different show.
Yeah,
it's for a different show.
Yeah.
But no, what "made of more" is step up to the occasion. You know, there's been so many times in my personal life and my business life where you have to step up. You have to be made of more in order to do what you're supposed to do. And so it's every day waking up and stepping up to the occasion, understanding what you need to do, how you can do it, and then what we talked about earlier, plan and execute. And when you execute that, you get more and more and more out of your life.
Yeah.
You get more and more and more out of your business. You get more out of your relationships. You get more out of anything. So the idea of everybody wants more, but not a lot of people actually rise to the occasion.
When it's time to give more.
So being made of more is, more importantly, in my opinion, rising to that occasion and being there for the people that need you, being there for the people that want you, but most importantly, rising yourself to that occasion because you are made of more. A lot of people don't understand that, but there's more that you can give, more that you can offer, more that you can be thankful for, more that you can bless. And being made of more is just, in my opinion, kind of rising to the occasion that people need you to be more. And when people need you to be more, then you make it happen.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really impactful answer and perspective. I got to agree with you 110% is like, sometimes we don't want to do something. And I'm not talking just like washing the dishes or anything like that, but I'm talking like it might be washing the dishes. Who knows? You might have to show somebody in your house that you're made of more, that you can clean those dishes and you're better than you've been. So
I like my fiance right now.
But, whether it's showing up consecutively for your own health, whether it's going that extra mile at work after a hard day and working with a client and showing up with a smile and just realizing on the other side of the counter or the phone that there's this human being that is probably really betting on you pulling through and even just maybe doing a little bit extra that they never even expected. I've been blown away a few times, like not enough, but I would say I get blown away just by having good service these days and somebody just showing up with a smile and delivering whatever to my table before even asking for it. And to me, like those servers and stuff that are just showing up, I know that they have a hard job, but you could really change somebody's life by or day, impact their day just by giving somebody exceptional service in the trade that you're in, whether it's your career or whether that you're a temporary waiter or waitress right now or a lifetime. Like I've had people make me feel like they've changed my entire trajectory of my week because of the interaction that I had.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and you stepped up to that interaction, and that interaction then fulfilled you and made you realize that you're made of more.
Yeah.
So you can do even more.
Like tip more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it, helping other people understands how much you can help yourself and how valuable you are. And then once you understand that value, you understand that, it's a cliche thing to say, but to be honest, the sky's the damn limit.
Sky's the limit. Let's see what's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had Chloe May on here the other day. She was a ex-professional soccer player. And one of the things that always stuck around with her is like, let's see what's possible. Okay. Well, how do people find you? How do you want people to find you for hire?
Easiest way is to go to our website, 1117studios.com, and they can fill out our contact form. Other than that, my phone is on my website. The phone that you see is this phone right here, guys. Mm-hmm. So if you want to call me, just go ahead and call me. More than happy to talk.
Yeah. And then what types of businesses out there should be thinking about calling you?
Any business that wants to tell their story.
Yeah.
We're not, I've said this in some of our BNI presentations and whatnot, but if a business is not ready to take the step into video production, we will articulate that very respectfully and be like, hey, I think you need to go set up X, Y, and Z before you come call us. Because the last thing that we want is a client spending thousands of dollars with our company and not getting anything in return.
Right.
And we've had that happen in the past, and it's not a fun conversation at all. But when a business is set up properly to use the videos that we produce for them in a way that articulates their message and is directed towards their target audience, that is the perfect business for us.
Okay. Well, what about these businesses that just need to tell their story, but they might not be set up yet? Do you have solutions for those companies that are already doing well but they could be doing a lot better. Obviously, they need to tell their story. That's one step.
Yep.
Do you have solutions for them after the video's been created?
We do. We typically kind of refer that business off to one of my colleagues and everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want every business should tell their story.
Yeah.
So what I call foundational content versus supplemental content. Foundational content is stuff that is found on your website because people, let's be honest, they're lazy these days. They do not want to read a page of a bio on a website that's backlinked to some random.
But they want to know it's there.
But they want to know it's there. But if you present videos on your website that articulate who you are, what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and most importantly, your customer experience, then that video, when people go to your website, will convert for you 110%.
So, and one thing I want to make sure is Jackson, he is phenomenal at referring the right partners to other businesses. I've seen him do it plenty of times. And I've seen the smile on the other faces of those other businesses. But what I heard clearly here is like, he's going to shoot your video, create an absolutely awesome product. And if you're not geared yet to take to the next step, he has a plethora of the right contacts to take it to the next step. So not only will you have the asset, but your asset is seen, and you guys would have already, at this point, already talked about who your target audience is. You're going to talk about who your conversion audience is, and you're going to have a lot of great conversations, as you could tell, that are going to be thoughtful around you and your business based on what he's able to offer.
100%. If we can't do something, we know someone that can do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jackson, I just want to say thank you for taking this time and being on the show Made of More today. I know you slogged and fought through heavy traffic and you got here. Thank you.
Well, the rain started coming down, so everyone drives crazy when it's raining out.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Even though it rains almost all year round, nobody's used to it.
No one's used to it.
All right. Well, I just want to say I appreciate it. And this is going to be aired Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. and then it'll be on podcast for you to listen to and share if you like.
Fantastic. I just want to say thank you, Chris, so much for inviting me on this show, and God bless you, man.
Yeah, bless you too. Thank you. All right, you've been listening to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we had the opportunity to listen to Jackson Rezab of 1117 Studios.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Made of More on KKNW. Whether you're on the road, at the office, or listening from home, keep chasing what lights you up, keep building what matters, and never settle for less than the life you were made for. You are made of more. More purpose, more impact, more joy. Made of More is part of the Speaking Current network of shows and podcasts, all of which that are dedicated to inspiring listeners to build lives of meaning, connection, and value. You can find the Speaking Current network of shows, including Made of More, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Until next Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, I'm Chris Erdmann. Stay bold, stay inspired, and stay made of more.